What's up, everybody? It is your sis and your friend Crystal Whitaker right here on the Morning Jam podcast, where we talk about any and everything personal, old snaps and claps. It's a dang good day to talk about a few things. So let's get into it. What's up, everybody? It is your sis and your friend Crystal Whitaker right here on the Morning Jam podcast. I am super excited to have my super guest, the one and only from the Philly, Shoney. What's up?
What's up, everybody?
How's it going, sis?
It's going amazing. I'm so excited to be here with you guys today, and I'm excited to get right into this. It's going to be
I
amazing.
know, I know. So let's get into it. Let's tell the people where you're from. Well, I already shouted it out already, and who
Well,
you are.
definitely. So it's definitely a long story. Um, so I am from Philly, but I actually have some of my roots also planted in the Jersey area. But I rep Philly all day long because that's where I do everything. And so I'm from specifically the Germantown area. So anybody in G Town, you guys know me out there. So I love Philly, and I cannot wait to one day go to ATL.
All right. Yes, we can't wait till you come here too because you are an amazing singer, artist, amazing woman. Um, I was talking to you earlier today, and we were talking about your different songs and your singles that you have dropped. You're just an amazing artist, and I cannot wait to until the world hear your amazing voice in this album that you put out. So let's jump into it a little bit. Where did the singing, what age, where did it all begin?
Yes, so I would say I started singing at the age of 5. And I think when I really developed my voice, I would say be the age of 12. I
Okay.
started to lead on praise team at my church because I'm a pastor's kid. I'm a PK.
Okay.
And but that's not why I was leading. I was leading because that's kind of always been in me, being a leader and things like that. But I developed my voice by copying people. I would just copy songs in the car when we were riding with my parents, and I would just make sounds. And I think that's kind of the way you start.
Absolutely.
And it
So
just
who was the
became.
first one that you copied?
I want to say it was John P. Key.
Okay.
And I don't remember what song it was, but it would always be playing in our car, and I would just be copying stuff. And I would say that's kind of how I learned how to lead because he's really good at leading. Yeah,
Absolutely. He sure is. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
So at the age of 5, ended up when you found the voice at 12 years of age. How was that for you? Was it like a shock to your family? Is there singing in the family? How did that work?
So we are musical. Everybody's musical in our family. We come from the South, though on the East Coast, but my family comes from the South on my dad's side, and then my mother's side comes from Puerto Rico. So I got a lot of things going on over here. Um,
Absolutely.
but
Wow.
yeah, singing is in our roots. It's in our roots, so it wasn't a surprise. I think the thing that surprises me the most is when I listen back to how I sounded, and I'm like, "Whoo, thank you, Jesus, for changing something."
Right. We always tend to listen to ourselves back and try and be like, oh my God, I can't believe I sound like that. And
Yeah.
now where I am today is an amazing, like I haven't listened to you when you're 12, but I know how you sound now, and your sound is so amazing. So at this point in your life, what I don't want to compare you to anybody, but who do you think your sound sounds like?
Don't know.
Don't
I'll tell you who I like, but I don't know who my sound sounds like.
okay.
And I'm a person who listens to all types of music. So
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
love Tony Braxton. She's my absolute favorite. If I saw her right now, I'd probably pass out. You have to catch me. So I love her. I love her low tones and all of those things that she does with her voice.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I also do like Beyonce sometimes, and I like Erica Campbell as well. I'm trying to see who else. I think those would be the top three of people that I kind of listen to a little bit. Some
Mhm.
people, I don't even want to say this person. Some person said, "Oh, you do some things like Tamia sometimes. Some of the ends of my
Really? Now I love Tamia. She's like one of my
yeah,
faves. So
yeah."
let me
So
think for just a second. Tamia.
you got to listen to. I'm going to say some of the things I did sometimes sounded like
Okay.
her,
Okay.
but not overall. I don't know. Who do you think I sound like?
I wouldn't compare you to her. I think you're on like a totally different
Vibe.
gosh, I wouldn't know. But I wouldn't know. Not at this moment. Maybe later I'll text you who you sound like.
Okay, okay.
But I'm definitely not going to compare because I feel like you are on a level of your own. And I just think that you're an amazing singer,
Thank you.
like amazing. And I was, like I said, I was listening to your songs at lunch today and I
Mhm.
began to cry in the car and I was talking to you about, I was like, Shoney, oh my goodness, the song Believe is like out of this world. And then you were like, Crystal, no, you need to hear the whole album. And I was listening, I was like, what how you trans from just the slow praise to the upbeat getting it and just grind, it's just totally amazing. So how in the world did you kind of like level out that with your
I,
voice?
yeah, I would say I'm an eclectic person, so I don't particularly like to be put in the box. I think sometimes the music business tries to put you in the box.
Right.
I like to go all over the place because I feel like I listen to everything, like all the genres I'm listening to. But I guess what kept me focused the most on the sound was more of the message I was trying to
Mm-hmm.
convey. And in that
That's cool.
message, that I could portray it different sounds
Mm-hmm.
because I hear melodies all different kind of ways all the time. And so that was my focus. If I stay focused on the message, it doesn't matter which sound that it comes up with, it's going to cohese all
Right.
together. So I hope I did a good job with that on the album. I like the way that it came out. So,
Yes, the album sounds so amazing. Like I said, I don't even, when I was talking to you, I was like, I don't even know the words to even express to you how I feel about the album. You know, when
oh,
you get albums or back in the day when you get the CDs and you
right.
have that CD that every song sounds good on the CD, that is your album today. I'm like,
Thank you.
whoa, amazing.
I
so
love it.
let's tune into the songs and where did you begin to write even the titles of the song. One you talked about Believe earlier, so let's get into that a little bit of what how did you feel at that moment even writing that song?
So I was going through a tragedy
Okay.
at that very moment. We have been on a house project the last 3 years. We had a
Mm-hmm.
contractor that just walked off the job and took 80% of our house loan, our mortgage loan.
Yikes. Yeah.
And so it was really bad, and we had to pay for this out of pocket. So meanwhile, one day, we would always check by on the house. But this day when we drove by, it was raining outside. All of the, the wrap on the house was flying off of it, and it was
Yeah.
already a hot mess. And so I started crying, and I went home, and I was mad. And one of the things I teach my kids is First Peter talks about giving your cares to God, and I
Mm-hmm.
always tell them the way you do that is you actually, tell God how you feel. So I started telling
Absolutely.
God
Yeah.
how I feel, but after that, I wanted to know, what he had to say about it. I don't think we ever asked him that. What did he have to say about it? So that's how some of the words come from that song. You said this, and you said that, and you said, and I believe. And so I wrote that song to convince myself of what God said, because not that I didn't believe what God said, but everything was looking like that's not what you said.
Right. That ain't what you said, God.
It ain't what you
So
said. That
you,
don't look like, this what I asked for, but this is what I got. This don't look like it. And
yeah,
so I was like, you know what? I need to encourage myself, and one of the ways I do that is through music. Because I
absolutely.
feel
Me
like,
too.
yeah, yeah. So I feel like in our journey at times, whether you're a singer or not, I think encouraging yourself, however you do it, you write, you sing, whatever you do,
Mm-hmm.
that could bless somebody else. So that song would have never been written had not the Tyvek and everything else been flying off
Right.
of the house.
Listen, sometimes it takes us going through like tragedies
Yeah.
and things like that in our life to help us grow in areas of our life to even it helps us to even write songs. It helps us to get through that
Mhm.
day. It's just so many things that I mean, me
Yeah.
personally appreciate the things that I've experienced in life to help me grow as a person that I am today. And I'm glad
Definitely.
that at that moment, believe came
Yeah,
out
that
of
song
that
right there.
tragedy.
Woo. Oh yeah.
So, what
Most
would you
definitely.
say to someone that's going through that same issue right now that they could get out of that just like you did?
Yeah. I don't whatever issue that you're going through, maybe it's a report from the doctor that you didn't want to hear, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe it's a failed marriage, or whatever that it is that's happened. Maybe you're going through financial struggles and everything looks like I don't know how I'm going to handle this. I would say increase your belief. The Bible says, whatever you think, so you become. And so, what I found in my journey, and I'm still going through this as well, we're almost to the tail end of it. But what I
Yeah.
found is that the whole thing that the enemy wants to do is to get you to come in agreement with what he believes
Oh
about your
my goodness. Yeah.
situation. And God is always saying, come on, believe what I said about it, believe what I'm showing you about it. And when we began to change our belief about it, then things do start happening for us. And so that's what I would encourage you.
Yes, yes. I know a lot of times when we think like, okay, God, I know that you got me, but the enemy saying, oh, I got you too. I got a handle on you. I'm going to sit right here on your shoulder. I'm going to whisper
Right,
in your ear like,
right,
hey, and I want you to listen to me. It is always constantly, once that one battle that we win, there's another one. That war,
oh
it's
yeah,
just a constant every day, every hour, every minute thing that we go through in life that God
yeah,
has to just keep us daily. And that's one thing that as soon as I get out of the bed every morning, I was like, Lord, I need you to keep me. And then when I get to work and I park in the parking lot, like, God, okay, I need you even more when I'm in here on my job. And then the enemy hears all of that, and he's like, okay, I'm going to get you. You done spoke the request, and
right,
now I hear you, and I know you're God, because I know you're God.
right,
Here's what you're saying, so I hear you. So I'm going to definitely try and get to you before God gets you, not knowing that God is immediately with us every hour of the day. So what has been that moment that has shook you and said, okay, Shoney, let's do this. Nothing's going to hold me back. I'm going to complete what I'm working on. So what has been that
okay.
moment for you?
So, wow, I would say I've had many moments that have tried to get me to complete the album. No, I literally had prophets. I'd be in the room and they'd be like, "The Lord said," and I'd be like, "Uh huh," and then year go by, nothing happened, right? But it was
Right.
actually this quote. Not it was nothing deep, but it was this quote I saw online. I don't even know who said it, but they said if you're waiting for motivation to go do something, that's not it. They said you
Oh,
do
wow.
something and then you get motivated. Motivation
That's
comes by
awesome.
you starting. So I said, man, I got to start this. And what I did was I made the schedule for myself. I'm going to complete this day and I'm going to do this that day. And I didn't judge myself because you can be very hard as an artist, with your
Absolutely.
stuff and what you write and all of that. So I would say start. Just start. That's the hardest part. Just start. And then everything else will fall into place. It might not be the place you wanted to create in. Nothing around me in the place I created this album was the place I wanted to be. I wanted to be
Yeah.
in my home. My home's not complete yet, but I wanted to be in my home doing that. I wanted to create my album in a certain time of day. I had to do it at 12 at night because my kids were asleep and I just finished having time with my husband and then I had to now do the album. So nothing was convenient.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So I know
But
a lot of times we feel like, okay, this is my comfort zone, and I'm loving my comfort zone. So I don't want to take that extra step to,
right,
just because I know it's gonna be hard. I know I'm gonna be titter-tatting over here. I'm gonna be leaning over here, but I know if I get started, like you said,
right.
motivation is really just to start, just to get to moving, and then it'll happen. It'll all fall into place, and to
Mhm.
where we know that everything's going to work out, everything's going to be good. And I appreciate you, sis, for making that move, especially on this
Thank
album,
you.
because it's called Relation. Or wait a minute,
Yes.
Relational Grace.
Yes.
And I appreciate you for even just starting on this album. How even the people that you connected with on this, because I know on was it Orphan Cry, you
Yeah.
had the background dancers on that. It was such an
Yes.
amazing
So
thing. So
let me,
tell us about that too, Orphan
oh
Cry,
yeah.
on that.
So I called one of my friends up. I'll shout her out, Blenda Yarbrough. That's my sis. So way back in the day, she used to do backup dancing and she used to be on all kinds of BET, all that stuff like that. And I was like, girl, I'm going to do this song and I have this vision for what I want the video to look like. Do you know anyone maybe? So she and I'll shout them out as well. The dancers is it's all marvelous. He actually does choreographing for Neo and a whole bunch of people in your area in
Mm-hmm.
ATL. And then the other dancer is Danny Lopez, who you probably seen him on everything. He's on what is it, Step Up to the new,
Yeah,
yeah, he's on that.
absolutely.
Right. So me and Mark had a meeting He had never met me from Kenneth Payne. He just knew me from my sis. And that's the thing too. It's called relational grace, but life is about relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And so she believed in this project as well, and she was like, yeah, I'm gonna see. I don't know, but I'll see. So anyways, me and Mark were listening to the album, and he really connected with that song, Orphan Cry. And he was like, I see this person. And he connected me with Danny, and we worked it out, and we were able to create something awesome. And matter of fact, he created his part in ATL, and all my stuff was done in Philly.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it was a long distance project, but it came out really wonderful. Yeah.
Listen, I have connected with so many people. Have they done so many great things during the pandemic when everything
Yes.
was locked down and everything you can do everything online. You can record, you can send, and it's just everything has been just amazing. All this technology, I'm like
Right.
not
Yeah.
tech savvy at all, but I'm learning. But it has been an amazing thing. So out of all of the pandemics, is what have you really gained in the knowledge of being able to create online and stuff?
Right. I've gained so many new relationships. I think I don't feel like God created the pandemic. I'm not going to say. I think everything that happens in life, God says, you know what? Even if it's a bitter thing, a good thing, or whatever, I'm going to get the glory out of it and use
Yeah.
it for my glory. And so, if you're open to hearing what God wants to do, He's always wanting us to connect with others. That's because He
Yeah.
does that all the time. And so I said, I'm not going to let this hold me back just because I can't travel to this place or that. So I use that technology, made so many awesome new relationships. Hence the
Us.
name of the title, Relational Grace. That's really, you know, but embarking out, not being afraid to connect with people, even if you failed in the
Yeah.
past. And maybe if somebody hurt you in the past, that's not these people. That's, you're starting a relationship with now. And so, I'm really happy about it. Yeah,
Yeah.
relationship. Matter of fact, I feel like the pandemic was like this. Either you're going to be relational or you're not going to be relational. And people felt either the one side of each place on the fork in the road. And
Right.
if you chose to be relational, then things were really starting to grow for you. It doesn't mean you didn't go through some bad things, but if you kept going, just like on your journey, you hit some really good things.
Absolutely.
But
Yeah.
if you chose not to be relational because you were like, you know what? No, I like it the way it was. And, I don't want to pivot and blah, blah. And no, I ain't using the online, all of that stuff. Then you just stayed stuck, but time still moved.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
I always say time does not stand still for
No,
anybody. It's going to keep going whether you like it or not. It is up to
yeah.
you to stay irrelevant with time. Um, I am a big thing on creating and just really knowing who I am now as a
Right.
person, as a woman of God, as a mother, as a friend. And I have been reading Sarah Jakes Roberts'
Nice.
Don't Settle for Safe. Oh my goodness,
Oh,
you
I
have
love that.
got. Have you read that book?
No, but I love that title. I'm saying, don't
Oh
settle for
my
safe.
goodness. It is an amazing book. It has kicked me in the head. It
Okay.
has shut my mouth. I had to shut it closed for a whole week and like put some band-aid, rub my lips, put some
Right.
ice on my head. How it
Oh,
just wakes you up and gives you the knowledge. And I love that you as a woman have that boldness and that creativity and just being an amazing woman of God too. I love that about you. I know when we became friends, um, you invited me on to the wholesome
right.
wholeness
Whole
project.
project.
So tell me a little bit about that.
Yes. So one thing that I've noticed, my mission, specifically out of just getting women healthy and helping them to be impactful in their families, is I also noticed a lot of people who are in the church, especially, they don't
Yeah.
listen to God in that area. And so I didn't want to go, tiff tiff because you're not listening to God and you're bad. None of that stuff because I don't feel like God does that. But my thing was like, how can I impact those who are my brothers and sisters in Christ in a positive way by just encouraging them in their wellness journey, seeing where they are, and then helping them from there. Because sometimes we look at our journeys and we go, this is too hard. I can't do this, or
Right.
I don't want to do it, or whatever. And you just need somebody to cast a little vision for you, just to give you a little nudge. Like you said, put their foot in your throat, however you said it. Or
Yeah.
do whatever. As long as you agree, of course, and all those things, but just kind of expose you to some things because what you don't know, you could perish for what you don't know.
Absolutely. I love it. And I thank you for inviting me to the group. And I just love it. I always, encourage people to really be healthy, even though I'm struggling with my healthiness.
That's okay.
And like I said, I'm struggling like trying to drink water. This is full and I haven't even touched it yet. So it is a process. It's definitely a process. That's like even with anything in our life, processing who we are,
Right.
processing, our day-to-day life and processing our work and just all that. So how do you balance? Because I know that you're married, and how do you balance that singing with family?
Yeah. Well, when I was doing the album, it was hard. I had to do everything at night.
Everything at
Um,
night.
well, I did because family after God is family for me. It's a big, huge thing for me,
Mhm.
and I'm not willing to let that suffer. Like me and my husband are
Yeah.
real serious about building legacy and all those kinds of things. But what I would say is start simple.
Hmm.
Every day, well, I think you should plan your week. That makes a difference. Because if some tragic thing happens in your family or yourself, all you got to
Right.
do is shift just a little bit. But if you don't plan at all, you plan to fail. So that's number one. Schedule your week. You can do it on one day. Just take a couple minutes on one day that you have time, and go through your week and do each day three things. Name your three top important things. Not that you're not going to do anything else, but if I accomplish my top three things that are the most important, then
Okay.
I really did a lot. And if I
Absolutely.
happen to get more time, I can do other things. But if not,
Hmm.
that's okay.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I love that. Name the top three important
Top
things
three.
and just kind of like knock them out before you even add on to the list
Right.
even more. So that's cool. I like that. I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to do that because I never plan because I just don't. I don't even write a list to even go grocery shopping. Like I
Okay.
just go down every aisle, pick what I want.
I
I'm
think
just
I
one of
think
those
it's
shoppers.
probably I think it's probably because you didn't find what works for you. Like people wanted me to write my plan down, but I actually worked better in my phone.
Got you.
Having it in my phone. So find what works best for you. What you know what I'm saying is the easiest way for you
Yes.
to do it. If it's how many ever alarm clocks, and I do that too. I will take my phone clock and I'll set on my calendar the three things. So every day go, psh, it's like it's buzzing me.
Right.
next
Okay.
thing,
Yeah.
next thing. I mean, start how you got to start. As long as you start.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've learned that so much to just really start. Just don't like pile everything on top of you to get started because you'll never get anything completed because you got everything on top of you. So
Right.
you're picking and choosing what should I, or you'll start something, put it down and start on something else, and you're not completing that
Right.
what you started at first. So for
Yeah.
me, it's just I think it's writing down everything because I'm a paper person.
Okay, then do paper.
So just write it down for me is just the thing for me. So I just love you, sis. You're amazing.
I
I
love
I
you.
can't wait for the world, and I know the world's already hearing your voice. I want to play one of your songs. Gee,
Okay.
can wait? Can we play? No, I was trying to get him to play
If
one
you
of
give
your
me
songs.
ability, I can actually play it through here if you
It
want.
won't air. Okay, say it again.
If you give me ability, I can play it through here.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If because since I put it on YouTube, it probably won't air on my page. So
Well,
we
is it
want
going to
our
air through this on Zoom? On this?
right, but if we take this and put it onto YouTube, so
Oh,
we
I
don't
got you.
want
I
we
got
don't
you.
want our YouTube viewers to be like, nah, you can't because you have this song on here, it don't belong to you.
Oh, okay.
But oh, okay, yeah, and they'll claim the video. He says so. I know that there's so much that you have put into these songs, Shawnee. So, what do you want your listeners and your fans to get out of these songs that you are putting out?
Right. Yes. So it's very simple. The message that I'm spreading on this entire album is called the message of sonship. And I know that's like, what is that? So it's
Mhm.
basically that God wants us to be a family as sons and daughters and to be what he's created us to be. And the only way that we can do that is if we choose to connect with
Right.
each other as family. And on this album, I kind of take you through I try to take you through every part of your walk with Christ as you're relating to other people and within a family. Like one song is called Real. And it was saying,
Mm-hmm.
like, I know you're real. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that you're not real. And I think we all go through that stage. And then there's another stage where you cry out to God after you've been saved and you go, this is great, everything that
Yeah.
I'm doing, but there has to be more than this.
Mm-hmm.
So what
Right.
else is there, God? So that's kind of what the Orphan Cry song that you love is about.
Yeah.
And then we delve deeper into other things, and it talks about relational grace, which means that God wants us not only to love Him, but He wants that love that spills from Him to spill into others. And
Right.
that's how people know that God's in us. So,
Mm-hmm.
with all saying all those things, but simply that God wants us to be His sons and daughters and not perform for His love, and
Absolutely. Yeah.
He's not mad at us.
Right.
He
So
loves everybody.
has there ever been a time in your Christian walk, have you ever doubted God? Has there ever been a time like, okay, God, let me just I'm just gonna walk away right now, throw in the towel. Has there ever been a point?
No, I can't say that there's been a way that I wanted to walk away. But there has been times I've been disappointed.
Mm-hmm. So what
I've,
did you do in those times?
and when I was disappointed, and this is because I know to do this. If you don't
Mm-hmm.
know, you don't know. But
Right.
I learned to, you know how people say you need to sit with your feelings.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to sit with your feelings. God didn't tell us to do that. He said identify your feelings so you can locate where you are
Mm-hmm.
and then give them to me. Because at the cross, I have something for you to exchange for those feelings, which is
Right. Right.
healing. And so I don't sit in my feelings. I am aware of my feelings and I locate this hurts right here. And then once I say, oh God, this hurt right here. This disappointed me, or I feel
Mm-hmm.
pain right here. And I go, God, I need to give this to you right now. And then I give it to God. And then
Yeah.
after I give it to God, I'm like, okay, God, let's talk about what happened. No, let's talk about what happened. And then I tell him about what happened, and he said, "Okay." Now he like, now you want to take me back to that and let me tell you
Right.
what I think.
Like,
You know what I think about that, and I heal that hurt.
yeah.
And that's the thing. Am I
Yeah.
willing to give it to him? If not, I can keep holding it if I want.
But what good does that do?
It doesn't, but we do it.
It keeps us like bound. I believe it just keeps us in that hurt. It keeps us in our feelings. It keeps us in emotional. For me, I feel like I've been through I hit 40. I'm not ashamed that I'm 40 years old,
Me
and I
too.
feel like you. Okay, sis, let's talk about this because I
Yes.
feel so emotional.
Yes.
I don't think I've ever been this emotional. And
Mm-hmm.
like even in my 20s and my 30s, I don't think I've ever been this emotional. I would cry at the drop of a hat and
Mm-hmm.
I get in my feelings. I don't, girl,
Yeah, this is
counsel
40.
me.
I don't know if I can count to you, but this is 40. This is
that's
40, and
that's 40.
yeah, and it varies depending on what you've experienced in your life and where you are right now. When we
That's true.
sometimes when we get 40, well, men I think they do it in their 30s, but some women we kind of do it, but we mostly do it at 40. We're like, okay, what did I do? Did I accomplish everything I said I'm gonna accomplish? Oh Lord, I'm too old. It's
Right.
too late. We start going through everything, and our hormones are at an all-time high because, and I hope this is not too much, but it's our
Oh,
peak
no,
time.
no, go
I'm
ahead.
saying at our peak time. You know what I'm saying? At 40. And so it depends. Like if, like I said, if you married and you know, your peak time is handled all the time. That's the way I'm gonna say it. If your peak time is handled all the time, then it might be okay. But if you're not getting that during that peak time, that might add to that too. That's that vitamin D that you
Absolutely. It's
might,
like
you know,
stressful. That's
yeah.
so funny.
So that doesn't help. So
Yeah.
unfortunately, I don't have that. I married and my husband take care of that part. But if you're not, yeah, if you're not, or if you are and your husband not, anyway. But yeah, then you under stress.
Yeah, yeah, I understand that too. I definitely agree with that. But I know for me, like when we're definitely in our emotions and our feelings
Yeah.
are up and down, God is just like, will you just chill, get it together, relax? I hear that all the time. You need to relax, chill, and let
Right.
God allow to process us and be able to let him guide us. Because a lot of times we tend to, okay, God, I need you to handle this for me. but then we
Mhm.
go back and pick it back up again. And I'm like,
Right, right, right.
yeah, come on, y'all. And I'm going to not say y'all, I'm going to say, come on, Crystal, get it
Yeah,
together,
no,
girl.
y'all, you can say y'all. Yeah, and a lot of times it's because we isolate. Some people isolate themselves when they're going through something, and
Yeah,
actually, the best thing to do is not to isolate. Is actually to get in the community. That there's healing in
really.
community. Yeah, there's
Okay.
healing in community, not isolation. And because when you think about it, when you get isolated, that's when the enemy tries to come at you. If I was trying to kill you per se, not that I want to, but if I was trying to kill you,
Right.
I'd be like, let me get her by herself.
Right.
I
Yeah.
need to get her away from the crowd. So you like, I ain't talking to nobody. I'm deleting everybody on Facebook. I'm not blah blah blah. Yeah, because God gonna deal with me. And I'm like, okay, that sounds great.
Right.
But you're putting
Right.
yourself as a target now, and you're wide open. Okay, great. And
So
all your friends.
yeah, I know that there's a lot of times where I feel like the enemy has like snuck in and just really like, okay, I got her where I want her. Now I'm going to get her. Let me whisper in that ear. And I thank God, like he has really blessed me from like growing up as this young girl that I speak about all the time, me being molested at a young age and for 3 years, and how God has truly blessed me um, to even be where I am now. I really didn't even
Yeah.
speak about any of that until a couple of years ago, not even telling anybody for a few years ago. And it's just amazing how different people like you through your tragedy that you went about your house and how it healed you by writing a song. And the more we talk about things, the more we put it out there on the table,
Right.
it heals and it covers and just makes
Mhm.
us better as people. So
Definitely, definitely.
mhm.
And I'm glad that you are here.
Oh yes,
By
me
the
too.
way, and then and I've never been through what you've been through, so I'm not going to compare it. But what I will say is, no matter what you've been through, that spirit of fear is connected also, and then to the spirit of shame,
Hmm.
and then that thing that happened tries to control you.
Yeah,
And so the best way, like you said, is even if it's not in front of everybody that you're getting it out, but sit down with someone, whether that's
absolutely. Yeah,
therapy that you
yeah,
need to sit down with, or if it's sitting down with someone who's a counselor, or whatever the case,
absolutely.
or
Yes.
accountability. Yeah, sit down with somebody that don't carry that the whole time, because you're putting yourself in prison, when you're not the one who did that.
Not only physical, like when we put ourselves, it's not physical, it's like mentally too. Like
Yeah,
a lot of people go through that mental state where they just feel they can be walking around on this earth, going to work, having going to parks with their children, having a good time, but in their mind
right.
they're bound, they're lost, and they're shaken and they're hurt, and there's just so much trauma. I just thank God for the releasing of the hurt, the releasing of the pain, and like
Right,
forgiving. Like we all walk around with different things in our mind and on our bodies,
right.
but it's the releasing of. And when people hear my sis Queen
I
Shoney
love it.
songs, how they are going to be so released of so many hurts. And I listen to Believe like 3 times on my
Oh,
lunch. Like
I
seriously.
love
And I
it.
love the tone of your voice. It's
Thank you.
just hearing you talk right now is totally different from you singing.
For me singing, is it? I don't know. I
Yes.
When I used to sing, I was like, I don't want to hear it.
For real.
It took me a long time to listen to my own voice. So thank you.
Wow. Why is that?
I don't know. I think it's some singers I've talked to, they said the same thing. It's just, hearing your voice back. I don't know.
Yeah, that's just like
Yeah.
hearing my recording my audio when I listen to
Right.
my interviews. It's like, ooh, turn it off. I don't like hearing my but you have to get used to that because I think your voice is so amazing. And I'm so honored to be one to hear it and to have the music and to just be able to process it and like have it just takes my soul and just makes me rest in the car today. I just
Oh,
really thank you for that.
thank you. Well, I'll tell you something interesting about this project that we didn't say.
Okay.
Um, so I want to definitely shout out. This album was co-produced by myself and a young lady. She's 18 now, but she was 17 when we produced the
Wow.
album together. Her name is AJ Beats Production. She's an artist now. She goes by Jazara, but She was 17 at the time when we were producing this album across states. She's in Texas and I am in Philadelphia.
Wow.
And so we were doing this whole album across the different states and just amazing, you know? And so to be able to have what I'm hearing as well as what she's hearing and combining it together with what God has given me is kind of how this album came to be. And
That's awesome. Yeah. I love what you said, what God has given you. And
mm,
I want to express this too, because a lot of times I always tell people, oh my gosh, I love what you do, but I don't give the credibility to what God has given you to just give to us. So
yeah,
I want to shout out to you, sis.
thank
Wonderful
you.
job, amazing job on this album. I look forward to connecting with you
Yes,
even more. So let the people know where they can reach you, where they can get your song, where they can, connect with you to set up an interview and all
yeah,
that.
definitely. So if you would like to set up an interview or anything, you can go to my website. It's iamshoney.com. Simple, just like my name, iamshoney.com. And if you want to connect with me on social media, you can go to Shoney Talks Lifestyle. It's on Facebook, IG, and definitely feel free to go to the bio and the link, and it has a link to every single thing that I am a part of. And I'm definitely looking forward to sharing more about this album with others. So thank you so much,
Awesome.
Crystal.
You're so welcome. Right here on the Morning Jam with your sis and your friend Crystal Whitaker. We are here with a super guest, Miss Shoney. You guys go out and support this young lady.
Yeah.
Again, you can connect with me on IG, Instagram. Oh, that is IG, Instagram, Facebook. I'm on Twitter, but I don't use Twitter that
Yeah,
much.
me too. I just
I
comment
don't.
on other people's stuff.
Yeah. But you can definitely connect with me at Crystal A. Whitaker 81 at gmail.com if you want to send me some music. I'm going to go start back on Facebook Live in the mornings, doing my morning jam Facebook Live. I stopped it. I was doing it for like forever, Shoney, like every day, consistently, every day, and for years. And I just stopped and went straight podcast. But I feel like I want to
Okay.
start back that again because it was really doing something for me and my people that I follow and people that follow me on Facebook. So that will continue, start back up on this coming Monday, you guys. I can't
All
wait.
right.
You guys support my sis Shoney. Go out and support her music. You will be truly blessed. Again, right here on the Morning Jam with your sis and your friend Crystal Whitaker. We are out of here. Peace out.
See ya.
Bye, Shoney. If you enjoyed this podcast, tune in each week on thinkingoutloudnetwork.com. Be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and share with your friends and family. Until next time, peace.